Hi, this is Rahul Singh, CIO Equities at Tata Mutual Fund. And today I'm going to be talking about the Tata Business Cycles Fund, the NFO, which we are currently undertaking. So let me explain what is Tata Business Cycles Fund all about. Tata Business Cycles Fund will invest in different sectors based on different points of time in the cycle. What is very important to know is that in the last 5 years, we have seen multiple events, both global and domestic, which have changed the business cycles from a slowdown to a recession to a recovery very, very rapidly. And I think in an increasingly dynamic world, we need a business cycles fund which can invest according to the needs of the time and does a top-down sector allocation to manage the various parts of the business cycle, which we are going to see more and more of in the next 5 years. So the objectives of the NFO is to have a top-down allocation fund, which really is very different from how most of the other schemes today are run, which is more of a bottom-up stock selection. I think the top-down sector selection approach to fund investing is become more important as the business cycles have become shorter and more unpredictable. So the investment strategy of the fund will consist of minimum 80% of the stocks being invested based on the business cycles fund. The number of stocks, the number of sectors, the large cap, mid cap, and small cap distribution in the fund will totally depend upon the stage of the cycle we are in. For example, if we are in a recovery and expansion period, the number of sectors, the number of stocks, and the proportion of mid and small caps would be higher. And the reverse would be true when we are in a slowdown or a recessionary period. So why should you invest in business cycle fund? I think this kind of a fund is required for all the investors, given that we are living in an increasingly unpredictable world where, as I mentioned earlier, the business cycles are getting shorter. So therefore, there is a need for a top-down investment approach in everyone's equity bouquet of funds. And I think this fund one can look at as a dynamic sector allocation fund or a fund which is more macro top-down. And I think it can start occupying more and more important part of everyone's portfolios as time goes by, given that we are living in an increasingly unpredictable world where the business cycles are becoming shorter. This fund will be taxed as per the equity taxation long-term and short-term rules, because at any point of time, we would be having 65% into equity instruments. So the nature of the taxation will be equity taxation. So just to summarize, Business Cycles Fund is a very different fund where the investments will be based on a top-down sector allocation approach, and the stock selection will be secondary. The approach here is very suitable for the kind of world we are living in today. And increasingly, we are going to see more and more of rapid business cycle changes over the next 5 years, given the kind of disruption we are seeing in various industries. And we think this can be a good addition to any investor's bouquet of funds or schemes, in addition to the existing schemes which are doing a good job in terms of the bottom-up. The NFO is already open and will be open till 30th July. So look forward to your support and your interest in this NFO. Thank you.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing. Please read the risk disclosure documents carefully before investing in equity shares, derivatives, mutual fund, and or other instruments traded on the stock exchanges.